Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This is Director's Wheelchair Productions coming at you with an action figure unboxing and review. I just hit you with the unboxing, now it's time for the review. And today we'll be looking at CT Toys Baiman Hush Black Edition. Let's get right on into the review. So, starting off with the articulation. Head looks up this much, looks down that far along with the neck peg. We get some generous pivoting side to side, rolling all the way around. We hear a little bit of that squeaking that we've been talking about in the community for a bit. There is a little bit, and I don't know if you can pick it up here. Yes, you can. A little bit of paint smudge on his chin there. That's fresh out of the box. That's not my fault. This is a bootleg figure, so we can expect a few more QC issues than MAFEX, but this is just a minor complaint. On the whole, the face sculpt looks just fine. Onto the shoulders. You can hit a Y pose. That's very nice, thanks to those butterfly joints and the shoulder joints in general. Full 360 rotation in the shoulder. The butterfly joint moves the arm forward about. Ooh, that's some good crossover right there. Yeah, cross his wrists over. If he wanted this guy wielding a sword, he could. Onto the elbows. Beautiful double joint. Almost complete foldage, just that the bicep there is so big it gets in the way. And we don't mind big biceps on our superhero, so I'll let it slide. A little bit more of that squeakage. He has the omnidirectional wrist peg. Goes down and up and all around 360. Comes with the peg for the interchangeable hands, which there are a plethora of. Squeak, squeak. Onto the torso. The joint at the torso at the top moves about that much forward, not very much back. The lower ab crunch, this is how much it bends forward, and this is how much it bends back. So, pretty good. Using both the torso and the waist articulation, we can get him at basically a 90-degree fold, and using both the torso and the waist going back, pretty decent lean back right there. I like it. Baiman has drop down hips. This left leg is giving me a little bit of trouble. And you can hear the massive amount of squeakage there. Oof. Gonna have to put some oil in there or something. Buy some shock oil first and then put it in. Funny story, my official MAFEX Nightwing has the same problem where the right leg, the drop down joint works just fine, but the left leg, the drop down joint is just fine. The right leg here, it's left facing the camera, but it's right when you turn it around. The right leg is the one that gives me a little bit more resistance. But let's see. Okay, I don't want to break this because I have a use for him. I want to turn him into Red Hood. You heard me talk about how I already have enough Batman figures, which is true. And even though I just pre-ordered the Mezco 1/12 Batman Year 1 Batman, it's to retire another figure. So that one I'll be using for scrap after I get the Year 1 Batman. But moving along with the review, we have basically a 90-degree upward range with the hip joint. I'm going to use the other leg just so that I don't accidentally break this thing. This one. There's thigh swivel. A squeaky double joint. where he can kick his bat butt with his bat boots. His ankles are omnidirectional. Up, down that far. Up this far. Generous ankle pivot. Some very nice sculpting. Let's see if we can focus in on that. Very nice sculpting on the bottoms there. And of course, toticulation. That is a very generous hinge right there. The final bit of articulation on the figure is the wired cape. There are 4 wires, one on each side of the cape, and then one on the third scallop on each side of the cape. My only complaint is that there should be a wire down the middle scallop here. I feel like that would give the cape a lot more lift, because when you pose it, and like you'd have to kind of fold the cape onto itself for it to do exactly what you want to do. It does lift it up a bit. This is me using all 4 wires to have the cape kind of curl up behind Batman. But we see how this part droops down at the bottom. So we have excellent posability at the extremes of the cape, but not so much in the center. This is something that I think MAFEX and both MAFEX and Mezco do better, or at least did better. Not all of the Batman capes that Mezco has sold are as thoroughly wired as, say, the Golden Age Batman or the Supreme Knight Batman. But here, these wires are strong, and they're connected to the cowl under here, so we can have it go all the way up here. That's pretty good. If you want him gliding, or if you just want him aura farming on the gargoyle set, on the gargoyle stand that we get with this figure, which I'm so grateful that we do get it, even though it's a bootleg figure. We have the quintessential accessories that came with the MAFEX figure. So if you want to reproduce Jim Lee's art, have him aura farm, yes, Bruce, we see the fit. You can do that. Man. Oh, look at that. I don't know why that is. Hopefully, it's something that is fixable. Okay. Not dealing with that anymore. Also, I forgot. Tilt. Go this far to the side, and this far to the side. So we have a Weave Nation certified CT Toys Batman. On to his accessories, we have, I'm just going to lay him down here. We have this alternate grimacing, scowling head sculpt. Really great paintwork here. The skin tone isn't as, say, in depth as the official figures, in my opinion, but still, it looks good. The paint job is clean. There aren't any blemishes here this time around. You can see the gum line and the teeth really well. The sculpt of the frown lines and the snarling in the nose are very well done. We have a good frowning Batman here. And Batman is a grumpy person, so we gotta have a grumpy face for a little grumpy Batman. Baiman. This is CT Baiman, not Batman. Baiman? Shout out in the comments. Should we pronounce it Baiman or Baiman? Yeah, sound off in the comments and let me know your opinion. On to the rest of the accessories. I'm just going to blow right on through these because I showed these two during the unboxing. We have a pair of relaxed hands, a pair of open action hands, a pair of battering claw hands, do some massive damage with those, some trigger finger item holding hands, some battering holding hands. They could, I suppose, hold other items as well, but they seem specifically engineered to hold the wings of the batarang. It's a tight fit. Let's try the other one, the other type of batarang, which, again, these are accessories that the figure comes with. The two different types of batarangs. Again, good snug fit. Especially with these batarangs, they're thicker than the curved ones, so they fit quite nicely. We have the grapnel gun holding hands with the two grapnel effects. We have the hook fired out. Let me just get this ported in. Holds quite nicely. The paint job they did with the silver everywhere is really good. Love the metallic wire, the hook, the silver grapnel gun that reminds me of the design of it reminds me of the grapnel gun from Batman the Animated Series. Of course, in the animated series it was black, as was most of Batman's equipment. But I appreciate the silver job here because it stands out against the black of his glove. And it just looks a bit more industrial. Oh, and I need to show you this one here as well. There we go. So we have one for when he's just about to shoot the grapnel gun, and for when he has shot the grapnel gun. So it holds up. If you get this, just be careful with it. It is a very small, very thin piece of plastic. So with all small, thin pieces of plastic, take extra care because they tend to be brittle. Again, showing off the gargoyle piece. Really like it. I don't have a lot of background or diorama props yet. I've just mainly been focusing on collecting figures. And whatever accessories I have are like weapons or alternative hands and heads. So having this gargoyle here, this rooftop piece, is very nice. I'm very happy to have it added to my collection. It comes with a port here for the stand. This is a CT stand, not a MAFEX stand. Technically, it's an SHF stand. It's pretty sturdy, coming right out of the box, which I really appreciate. I've gotten a lot of these off of eBay over the years, or over the year, because I've been doing this YouTube thing for a year and some change so far. But before I started the channel, I started collecting, and I started getting these to post up my figures. The one thing that I have against this is that it comes with just the kind of plug-it-and-play grips. Here, again, they're tight, they're doing their job, but the discs here tend to crack after not a long time. And I've bought ones where there were screws here, and they're much more durable. I appreciate that a lot more. So CT Toys is watching this. Please take notes, at least on this point. Put screws in here for the hinge, so that your stands can be more durable, and we can use them for a lot longer. But also props to you guys, kudos for having it be nice and tight right out of the box. I don't have to take a screwdriver to it. Very little assembly was acquired, and no screwdrivers are required. Just tear off the pincers from the plastic, attach them to the attach them to the claw here, attach the claw to the arm, attach the arm to the base, bada bing, bada boom. And then, of course, we can switch out bases for the gargoyle base, so that you can have Batman standing on top of here, And if you have him up on, Baiman, CT Man. Yeah, if you have him on a shelf or something standing on this, you can use this arm here as a stopgap to keep him from falling off in case something shakes or you bump into the shelf as you're going about your day. So, all in all, I'm enjoying this figure. I'm kind of concerned about the legs. I'm gonna have to be careful with this left one here. The right leg here. Yeah, I have to be careful with that. I'm a little disappointed in how that turned out, but hey, you buy bootleg stuff, you get bootleg results. But, and speaking of, just in hand, the plastic quality is definitely different than, say, yeah, the difference is immediate. Like, you can feel how much firmer the plastic is on this MAFEX Hush Nightwing than it is on the CT Baiman here. It's like the plastic is like a Marvel Legends, but it poses like a MAFEX. So I'm down with that. It was a lot cheaper to get than that. This was a lot less expensive to get than this Nightwing, and it comes with all the functionality of a MAFEX, or almost all the functionality of a MAFEX, all the accessories of a MAFEX. So that's a win in my book. I feel like Hasbro should be moving like this. Mattel definitely, once they get the DC license back, should be moving like this. I saw that Shartimus Prime video where it was showcasing the first wave that Mattel is planning on putting out, and I am not pleased with what I see. I've seen people like J3 Customs on Instagram make better looking figures, better looking DC figures out of Marvel Legends figures than DC is making or planning to make so far with their Mattel stuff. So I'm really hoping that these big companies step up their game, because in this economy, we're looking for some quality figures. We're looking for stuff that looks good, feels good, plays good, and yeah, that's the end of my tirade on that. Long story short, I'm liking this Batman here. Baiman. Take a shot. Well, no, don't, because I don't believe that getting drunk is a good idea. But take a swig of water watching this video every time I say Batman instead of Baiman. Okay, stay hydrated, my friends. That's the drinking game we'll play here. Take a chug of water for every time I say Batman instead of Baiman. And again, shout out in the comments. Should we pronounce it Baiman or Baiman for this CT figure so that we keep things legally distinct? Removing all these hands out of the way so we can get into the size comparison. I've already shown you that I have my MAFEX Nightwing in hand, but I want to see how they measure up with each other side by side. The original dynamic duo. Also, just as a side note, I am going to be putting those curved batarangs into my Nightwing bag because I read them more as wingdings than batarangs. The ones shaped like bats are batarangs, hence the name. The boomerang shaped like bats. Alright, so there's Bruce. There's Baiman standing there. And here he is next to the official MAFEX Hush Nightwing. There we go. Let me just straighten up his head a little bit. I seem to always have his head cocked off to the side. Nightwing is like he exudes so much attitude, in my opinion. Yeah, there they are next to each other. They size up well. I wish Baiman were a little bit taller. I believe my Mezco Golden Age Batman is taller and I'm going to be showing him off in a second. But let's go with another member of the Bat family. We have the eldest son, and the youngest son here, he is next to a DC Icons Damian from the Super Sons 2-pack that I modified. I took the plastic cape off of him, and I put the cape from the McFarlane Page Punchers Damian Wayne onto him, and it fits like a glove. It handles like a dream. I love it. So here he is, next to Baiman, the guy who looks like his father, but isn't actually his father. His little feet make it almost impossible to stand him up, but the top of his head reaches just the top of the utility belt here, which makes sense. He's a little kid. The sword, by the way, is from Mezco's blade, because I wanted Damien to have a sword, and this Damien came with a bow staff and a bunch of birdarangs. Damien uses a sword. I gave him one. Moving on, another official MAFEX figure. We have the Hush Catwoman, who is shorter than both Baiman and the Man Wonder here. But again, they look good together. I'll probably do some pictures of them embracing each other at the end of the video. Up next, figure from a different line, and someone who you can't have. If you have Batman, you can't, or Baiman, you can't not have this fella here. The Clown Prince of Crime himself, the Yamaguchi Revoltech Joker. He stands just a touch taller than Batman, but he's lankier, leaner, and I'm okay with that. Up next, we have a bigger Marvel Legends body, Crossbones, that I plan on turning into Bane. The makings are basically already there. Just remove the belt, sculpt on a new one, remove the paint from his chest, and fix the paint on his face. Remove the bandana. I already have a tank from a Fortnite Chaos Agent plugged into his back for the Venom tank. I'm gonna paint that red ring green for Venom. But yeah, he's taller than Batman. He's bigger than Batman. And this is like Bane not fully venomed up, so that's the plan. And I also intend on using this belt, putting this belt on this figure when I make him into Red Hood. But yeah, that size comparison works out well. One more. We have our Mezco Caped Crusader Edition Golden Age Batman. Gonna put the cape over his shoulder so we can see his frame a bit more. Alright. So there he is. Yes, I was right. He is taller than the CT Toys Baiman here. He has decent articulation. I believe the CT Toys beats him out. I hope the year one is better articulated than this one right here. I like the proportions on him, because especially with the legs. Like, why does Batman have no calves? He can leg press, I believe, like, at least a ton. He should have monstrous legs. This dude looks like he could do that. You can see the muscle definition popping up from under his suit. This guy, they're twigs. They're planks. No calfage whatsoever. Like, look at that. There's just a little bump right here, and that's what we call a calf for Batman. Unacceptable. But here he is for the size comparison. I will be retiring this figure soon, And there is one last thing I want to check. I don't plan on having this Batman, Baiman, drink water, use this grapnel hand, because I'm turning him into a Red Hood, and I don't want Red Hood having these grapnel guns. I want Batman to have the grapnel guns, and I mean officially licensed Batman, not bootleg. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this Mezco Golden Age Batman, going to remove the hand here and see if this grapnel hand can fit. So, moment of truth. Ooh, it's nice and snug. That's good. And it fits. Perfect. So now I have some extra accessories for this Batman and the Year 1 Batman I have on the way. Looking forward to getting that, and I'll be definitely hitting you guys with a unboxing and review video for that figure when it comes sometime. I think it's slated to come this fall or late spring, so we shall see. A couple more size comparisons. I'm going to move Nightwing out of the way. I'm going to showcase the other version of Batman that I have. Don't drink water here because this is an officially licensed figure. My custom Supreme Knight Batman. I missed out on getting the LPZZ Arkham Knight Batman. I feel like this is the closest thing you can get to that. The trunks are custom. I got them off eBay. The cape I got off of eBay from GPS lot. And then this, of course, is the same head as the Ascending Knight head that I use on my Golden Age Batman because I prefer long ears over short ears. But here he is. He's also taller than CT Toys Baiman here, which would make him perfect, like the perfect size for the CT for the Nightwing, sorry, the Red Hood custom I'm going for. So here he is. It's kind of like a nice timeline too. Beginning, middle, end. I don't have the Ascending Knight Batman. He's like a grail, and again, I don't really plan on getting him. And if I do get him, it's probably not going to be like just to get another Batman. I'll probably like turn him into like maybe Owlman or something. I've seen stuff like that done. But yeah, those are him compared to the other Batman in my collection. And you can't have Batman without Superman. Drink water. I just called this Batman. Drink water again because I said it twice. But here he is next to my modified Mezco Man of Steel edition Superman. Soft goods, courtesy of C4 Charles, and the cape, courtesy of GPS lot. Here he is, big and buff, standing taller than CT Toys Baiman here. So yeah, that's all the comparisons I have. Final thoughts? Feels like a Marvel Legends, moves like a MAFEX. I have some concerns about this leg here. There's some other minor itty-bitty nitpicks here. You can see the gappage under the belt here, where the torso, where the ball joint plugs into the bottom of the waist there. The trunks are a bit uneven here. I don't know why. The belt is still glued on to the back. Some metal is exposed on the left arm here, which isn't going to matter much to me because he's going to be wearing a jacket. The cape, again, it's nicely wired. It could be more thoroughly wired, and I'm not a huge fan of the material. It's not pleather, it's not cloth, it's kind of like a polyester kind of feel. And I feel like Batman should have like a kind of pleather, leather, or cloth cape. No in-betweens there. A little bit of a blemish again on his face here. Again, it's very, very small. It's not game-changing or completely ruining the figure. And again, I'm not using this as to be a Baiman in my collection anyway. I'm using him. I bought this so that I can make a Red Hood figure. Speaking of, just two more tests that I want to do. I want to test out his item holding hand here with the trigger finger to see if he can hold a firearm, because that's something that Red Hood does a lot. And I also have the Red Hood head sculpt from my amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech Arkham Knight. So I want to see if his head can fit on this body. And if all goes well, I'll be one very happy camper. So I'm collecting the materials now. I have like everything just piled up on my left, off camera so you can't see, but so that it's all within arm's reach. So here is the Red Hood head, and consider this a kind of a sneak peek into the process for my customizing Red Hood. Pop the head off. Pop this head on. Ooh. Oh yeah. What do you guys think of that? It's shiny, it's metallic. The little bit here in the back is a separate piece. Without it, there'd be like a huge gap in this neck part. It would just look really unnatural. This really completes the look. He looks up, down. He has good tilt. And he's on a nice muscular body. Just like Jason should be. He's like heavier than Batman, I believe. Here is a custom Arkham Knight Red Hood pistol from, I think it was the House of PewPews. Castle of PewPews, one of the two. I'll put the link to their Instagram in the description. But I got this for my Revoltech Arkham Knight, and it stretched out the hands on that figure, unfortunately. So now it can only hold this, not the knives that he came with, not the crowbar that Joker came with. So I'm gonna see how it fares holding the pistol. Task failed successfully. It can hold the pistol. And I can definitely see that it's going to stretch the hand out if I just keep it in there. But also the trigger finger isn't going into the trigger hole, which, and forgive my hand being like all up in the camera. I'm pretty sure you didn't subscribe to me to just see this on your screen for like 40 minutes. But here he is holding the gun, so at least he can do that. Again, task failed successfully. Also have a knife. Let's test that out. It's not a real knife. It's a action figure knife for, making sure the YouTube algorithm knows what I'm saying. And I'll test out the crowbar too. Why not? I have them all here. Alright. So, item holding hand. Items. Alright. Holds on to the crowbar quite well. It's a good fit. And it's pretty easy to take out. Not easy as in, oh, it's loose, but it's not super duper difficult. And then, I just said super duper, unironically. Oh my goodness. But here he is with the amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech Arkham Knight knife inspired from the curved knives that he had in his first appearance as Red Hood in the comics. So that's the hammer grip and normal grip. Both looking good. So, yeah. I cannot wait to get started on customizing this figure. Because not only am I getting grapnel guns for Batman, wingdings for Nightwing, but I'm also getting fins for Batgirl. I've been working on a Marvel Legends Batgirl custom in the background. I haven't posted any pictures of her yet. But once I cut these off, I can put some epoxy, milliput epoxy around Barbara's forearms and stick these in, prime them, paint them yellow, call it a day. And then the last thing I'd have to do is work on her mask. I'm going to need help with that because rotary tools will trigger my symptoms and not be very good for me or anybody else around me. So, but yeah, let me put his proper head back on him. So here he is. I give this figure an 8 out of 10. Considering the fact that it is a third-party figure, and that we purchased these at our own risk of having some more significant QC issues than we might like, it functions pretty well, and I think getting some shock oil in that hip joint should fix the problem that I'm having with it, like in terms of tightness. I thought I was just warming it up. Again, it comes with all the accessories that the MAFEX Batman came with. The only difference being the type of stand it came with and the type of hook that attaches to that stand. But yeah, I like the figure. I recommend it. If you want to just add a cheap Baiman to your collection, or if you want to take this Baiman and make him into a Red Hood or an Invincible or whatever, these make for good, cheap custom fodder. And that's just about it. I hope you guys stay blessed, stay tuned, and as always, enjoy the action. I'm going to show you guys some pictures, and I'll catch you all later.